All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are we doing? Happy Thursday. Can you hear me? Let's take a look at NQ here. So yesterday we have the inside day, true inside day yesterday. What I wanted to see this morning was an open closer to that prior day high, that Wednesday high up into the 075 level of interest. You can see the near-term structure here for the past 2 sessions or so, including the overnight action. What do we have? Just a little range, right? Just a little range. We had jobless claims earlier this morning. Not much of a move from that. Now we have price following yesterday's inside day, still within the middle of that range. So best opportunities, what I'm really looking for is some action down here or up through here. Anytime we have that kind of near-term structure, you want to be looking at the edges of the range. Zooming out, we do know that for now, higher time frame support is holding. So until proven otherwise, support is holding. So until it actually breaks, this is all this area down through here near that prior day low is an area of support. Now, do we actually see a break today, one way or another? We do have NFP tomorrow, which is a pretty big print, right? We do also have 2 prints this morning, one at 9:45, one at 10 a.m. So I would expect a lower volatility open here into those data prints, 9:45 and 10 a.m. See if we get some action, maybe post 10 a.m. But I can tell you I won't be in a big rush off of the open here for 2 primary reasons. The location. I do like the 900 level of interest, but I prefer the action down near prior day low. So location, and then the data prints early in the sesh here. So first half hour, lower expectations. Post 10 a.m. definitely be looking for some sort of setup. Main focus off the open here in about 3 minutes is how price responds to that 19,900 level. Buyers, of course, want to defend this area as support to trade back up into 20K, potentially the 075 level of interest. Now, if sellers step in, you see a flush of 900, you can kind of get a repeat of yesterday's move down into the pre-market low, maybe down into the prior day low, maybe even down into that 815 level of interest. So let's see how we open up and take it from there. Pretty straightforward, pretty similar to yesterday's approach, pretty similar to yesterday's action, just based on the fact that price is in the exact same location. Now, if we do get a break of the prior day's range, you want to look for acceptance, whether it be through prior day low, you want to look for acceptance below, or up through prior day high, you want to look for acceptance above. And then if you do see that acceptance, the general rule of thumb with an inside day break is to trade in the direction that the inside day breaks with. So if it breaks higher, you want to be looking for longs, vice versa if it breaks lower. Pretty straightforward. Now on ES, you do have very similar type of structure. Pretty much same comments that we discussed on NQ apply here to ES, near-term range, right? And when I say near-term, I'm talking about this structure right through here. Pass, definitely yesterday, a part of Tuesday's session, and then this overnight action for this morning. That's the current structure. Now, again, when you zoom out, what we'll see is that ES is also testing that major area of support, right? Prior resistance through here, support through there, now holding this area. So same type of approach here on ES, price currently in the middle of that range. Best action is going to be near the edges of yesterday's range. Got the open here in 30 seconds. Let's see how we open up. We've got the world's best espresso made by yours truly. Here's the open. Price currently sitting on 19,900. Let's just see that reaction here. We do have a small gap lower. I say small because still within that prior day's range, right? So just a gap within that prior day's range. This is a 5-minute regular trading hours chart. Yeah, world's best. World's best, man. All right, NQ back into 900, 19,900. Let that structure build. And don't forget the data prints. 9:45 and 10 a.m. There's your new low of day. Buyers defend the low there again. See how volume's looking. Volume's pretty good. And Q making a push into VWAP here. There's VWAP. Got that opening 5-minute bar, close it in 90 seconds here. So buyer's pretty responsive versus 900. It's good to see. Good to see the levels hold nicely. The overnight gap fills up near prior day volume point of control. Nice push there. Opening 5-minute bar closes in 30 seconds here. So next upside reference point is that level of interest right at 20K. NQ just shy of that area now, about 20 points shy of that area. Opening 5-minute bars closed. You have some prior day structure right through here. And that first data print of the cash session here in about 7 minutes or so. NQ retesting the highs. Definitely some sellers interested in that prior day structure point. See if that momentum from the open can push through. There's your new high on NQ. New high of day. Meanwhile, ES is almost back into the lows. A little divergence there. Like I mentioned before the bell, just staying patient, letting that intraday structure build out. We got that first data print in about 5 minutes. That is final services PMI, and then at 10 a.m. you got the ISM services PMI. Probably start to see that session volume point of control start to shift here. Maybe within the next couple of minutes. Looks like ES is just sitting on the low, sitting on the session low there. There's your new low over at S&P, new low in ES. NQ holding so far. There's that retest of VWAP and NQ. Buyers responsive there. Back near session highs. Still cash personally. First data print here in 4 minutes. There's your new high of day in NQ. So if you manage to grab that VWAP entry, you want to be trimming. That's your first target. Next upside level is 20K. There's that 5-minute regular trading hours chart. Getting into that afternoon structure from yesterday on NQ. There we go. New high of day into 20K there. NASDAQ, nice push. Up through 20K now. And first data print here in 2 minutes. 2 mins. Got that one, Rich? Nice. Yeah, no FOMO, guys. I'm still cash too. If you already have FOMO, 13 minutes into the sesh, maybe take a step outside. Not a good way to start your morning. So now looking at the reaction into 20K. Here into that first data print. All right, let's get this data behind us here. 30 seconds, 20 seconds. It's more of a minor print. Not really expecting a big move, but it's good to get that behind us. So NQ just churning at that 20K area here. 15-minute opening, 15-minute bar, quite bullish. Nice hold of the 19,900 level of interest up into the 20K level of interest. So if buyers can break this area, be looking at prior day volume point of control where the gap fills, but more importantly, up into that pre-market, like this whole zone up here, pre-market high, prior day high, and the 075 level of interest right through here. Significant high in the near term. So some sellers versus 20K there. NQ potentially setting up that next higher low. If this trend move off the open is to continue. Session volume point of control up there into 965. And retesting the highs there. And Q. Yeah, an extension move above 20K with a retest. That would be a nice scenario. $50 push-ups, man. I just left the gym. I just left. Still cash, staying patient. At this point, we have 10 till 10 a.m. Likely just wait till 10 a.m. here. Meanwhile, ES still sitting on the lows. S&P sitting on the lows. Big divergence today. What's carrying NQ today? Probably Nvidia. The usual suspect, Nvidia. ES making a new low there. Nvidia's ripping. So we got one stock carrying NASDAQ right now, while the rest of the market's lower. Noted. So let's see this 20K reaction into 10 a.m. if price is just going to churn here. Churn. Into that barcode, that barbed wire setup. Man, it's fun to read all the trade 30 for 30 entries and all the comments, everyone helping each other. That's pretty cool. I love to see it. We're only 2 days in. NQ, new high of day right there. So we want to see if buyers can sustain the 20K. Nice extension move up and through 20K would be ideal. There it is. See if they can continue to show acceptance. You got volume tapering down here ahead of that 10 a.m. print. You got volume point of control at 20K. You must have fewer rows. Although, even with fewer rows, I don't know how it could be at 20K. And look at this high volume node through here. Nice push there on NQ. Overnight gap is closed. One row per tick. I have mine set at 75. 75 row size. NQ into prior day volume point of control here. Overnight gap, small overnight gap is officially filled. Got support holding yet again. We got buyers showing up versus support. So do we get an entry? Let's see. I'm still flat. Still flat. Still flat. No FOMO. Chilling. Remember the plan, at least my plan outlined before the open, was for slower morning, wait for 10 a.m., see what we get post 10 a.m. So when the markets slow down, definitely the week of Thanksgiving, good week to not trade, and the week of Christmas. No live streams for both of those weeks, FYI. Week of Thanksgiving, week of Christmas. We will not be live. All right, let's see this data print. 90 seconds. Of note, ES did recover. It's now into session highs. Didn't want a live stream job. I'll be with my family, so I'll be back in California. There's a new high of day over at ES. Yeah, I'm from San Diego. So NQ bumping into that prior day volume point of control. $10 a.m. in 30 seconds here. Let's see what we get. See if we get an entry. See if we even get a setup. Everything just freezes. That's how you know. That's how you know. All right, there's your 075. .075 level of interest. You got the overnight high right through there as well. Well, I was hoping for a retest of 20K. Just get that little shallow pullback there. Big volume. Big volume. Couple ticks shy of that pre-market high. ES pressing the highs, of course. Now pretty much mirroring NQ. See if they can break the pre-market high here. There it is, up through the pre-market high now. Your prior day high. It's right here at 91, right near 91. Let's see. So if we get a break of the prior day high, again, buyers are looking for that acceptance. And it could set up an even larger move. Anyone find an entry that was not a chase outside of that pullback to VWAP? Because I sure did not. So we wait. We just wait. Yeah, flat. All right. That's how it goes sometimes. That's how it goes sometimes. Yeah, retest at 20K would be solid. The only thing that I really saw was that pullback into VWAP, but no level there. So you have to have conviction in the trend move. Here's that prior day high. Right around 90. Volume's great. Volume is excellent, so that's not a concern right now. 19,900 was tested at the open. So if you want to trade the open, then grab 900, but trading the open was not in my game plan for today. It's usually not in my game plan. So we got a break of the prior day high right now. Let's see if there's any acceptance. How the times have changed. Well, with individual names, it's a lot different. No, there's no opening drive for me today. Too close to the middle of the range. But if you guys like that trade, go for it. Go for it. That's not my play. The opening drive I like near the true edge point. So if we had like that prior day low area, that 815 area with a proper pre-market setup, I'd definitely consider it. Yeah, you want that stronger support on those. At this point, it's just a waiting game for more market structure via another higher low. I would like a deeper pullback, but it's possible we just don't see that based on what we've seen so far. Got S&P coming into that prior day high here as well. 5770, 5772 area. It's on watch there in ES. So your next upside level of interest is up into 150. And then the weekly pivot, 255. There's ES into 5770. So a failure at the prior day high. Do we get 20K? Yeah, careful with the failed inside day break. That's a phenomenal point. Check the volume right there as well. Let's see 20K. Let's see the reaction here. Check your 5-minute. No bid at 20K. From failed moves comes fast moves. The old adage. There's like a must hold spot for buyers, 20K. 15 minutes, not all that confidence inspiring there. Oh man, look at that. Big doji. Back into prior day volume point of control. Try to nibble there. Trail was grabbed. It's kind of a late entry. I didn't want to. That's not the wait and see trade for me. At this point, anything within yesterday's range, I'm going to be very cautious with, because sometimes with these failed inside day breaks, you can get a sweep of the other direction, which would be prior day low. And that is way, way lower. So we'll see how price continues to develop here at 20K. Still interested in this area if it holds. Yeah, exactly. Spot on. So if you grabbed any of those entries, make sure you're trimming and managing accordingly. Still in that prior day's range. Back into 075 level of interest. I would have managed it. Likely would have managed it the same if I had that tighter entry. Yeah, the break even. The break even. I want any, like, for me, I mean, this is not saying this is the only way to do it, right? But how I do it is want that immediate push and no revisit of my entry on a setup like this. Certain setups I'll give a wider leash to. This is not one of them. Just based on the fact that so far there's a failed inside day break. Yeah, exactly. Just been caught on the wrong side of too many of those. Especially considering the low there is down near like 80. So makes the risk point a little too wide, or wider than I would like. Plus, we have to consider if this is going to continue to trade as a near-term range, then we're trying longs near the upper portion of the near-term range after we just saw a rejection. So that's kind of the thought process there. NQ rolling over versus that 0.75 level of interest in the pre-market high. So if you grab the lower high, you want to trim some into 20K here. There's your 20K test again. See that bounce did not resolve into the highs there. And case in point with what we were just talking about. That was it right there. So now we see 900. See you, Rich. So next area I'll be interested in is 900, but again, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, with that failed inside day break, it's not uncommon to see a sweep of the other side. In this case, that's way down into the prior day low. So just be cautious. Cautious with the longs. There's that retest at 20K. Session volume point of control right here near 960. Almost 1 hour into the sesh. So right now, either looking at a reclaim of 20K with market structure to work with, or a test down into 19,900. And the reaction down into 19,900. Nine-day range. Yeah, we may see that. May get more info on that tomorrow with NFP. Friday NFP. About 1 hour into the sesh here. One hour. Price just kind of churning here near VWAP. How's ES doing? ES sitting on the lows. What do we retrace? About 70% or so, 78%. There's your fib, intraday fib. Seller stepping in again. Not all that surprising. Espresso time. Enjoy. Enjoy, sir. My espresso's done. Way ahead of you. There's that session value area low. Holding. Keep an eye on that 5 minute. See if we get a hammer here with a push up through 20K. like I said, I'm interested in 20K with some sort of market structure. Otherwise, the 900 area, 19,900. Right now, a seller stepping in versus that VWAP. VWAPy. There's your 20K being tested. So let's see if we get any acceptance above 20K now. There's your retest. Do buyers step in or not? Buyers going to step in there. How's ES doing? ES, nice spring setup. Would have been great if there was a level there. But that's what you like to see out of the spring. Very good, very good. Doesn't look like much market structure so far here at that 20K. This is still mid-range. Back in a VWAP there. Not a ton to do here with current location. Had that one decent attempt at that retracement into 20K with VWAP right there. Limited follow through, depending on how you traded it. Lower high there at 0.75 level of interest. Now another lower high, potentially in the works. So remember, from those failed inside day breaks, you can usually get a retest down into the larger area of support. So just be cautious with any longs in the current location. Not that they can't work or anything like that, but pay attention to that big picture. Big picture setup. Coming back into that 78% fib. See if sellers can give that flush here. There it is. Let's see the reaction into 900, if there's any buying interest whatsoever. So I like to see if we get a real test of that 900, maybe even a sweep of the low. Getting pretty close now. If your 900 does fail, like I said, you're looking at a test of the prior day low. It's that next level. Back into VWAP there, retesting VWAP. There's 20K again. So 20K with some market structure, definitely worth keeping an eye on. Sellers right back there at 20K. Volume remains really good as we get into 11 a.m. here, about 10 minutes till 11 a.m. It's definitely been a session of patience, if you ask me. Still within the prior day's range. No break of the prior day's range yet. So keep that context in mind. Yeah, this is the type of action that in the long run crushes a lot of traders because it trains them to chase, buying fresh session highs, buying breaks of levels. May work today, may work some other session, but long term, it's just a recipe for giving money away, recipe for donations. It's the feedback loop that is trading. You can do something completely incorrect, still make money, think you did something right. That's why we don't look at profits as an indication of whether or not we're following our system, things like that. It's tough because that's the scoreboard, and the scoreboard is always there. The scoreboard is always right there. That's why I posted those in the trading psychology tab of the Traders Think Tank. I posted those goals, those benchmark goals that are not related to P&L. Handful of goals you can benchmark yourself against that have nothing to do with P&L. So NQ coming into that lower high here from a little earlier. That's the prior bar 15-minute high. Yeah, winning trade isn't always a good trade. Spot on. Spot on. See if price can break this 38% fib here. ES is also back into its intraday range. So just shows you the strength of buyers. Resilient thus far. Definitely a good sign considering bigger picture location in that bigger area of support. And more sellers there. I'll look at, per usual, the reaction here into 11 a.m. Considering price is still near 20K. Well, then most likely we'll shut it down for the morning. So far, it's been one trade today for like 10 points on NQ. So a lot of activity, but pretty slow on my end. Shutting it down, Dom. All right. Have a good day, man. Yeah, we got the big NFP tomorrow. That's right. NFP. Market moving. Yeah, NFP at the very least should help to resolve this kind of what is, as of right now, in a 2.5 session range, near-term range. All right, sounds good, man. There's price back into VWAP. Back into VWAP. So buyers had an opportunity to force a change of character here intraday and failed to do so. There's your high being marked that we talked about. Lower high, right? All the while making lower lows following this failure to hold the prior day high. Lower low, and this is still in the works. That's the basics of market structure there. 15 and 30-minute bar close in about 2 minutes. Still would not mind to see that that potential undercut of 900 that recovers. A little bit of a spring type of setup. But remember, if 900 fails, we're looking at the prior day low. There's 11 a.m. back into that fib reference point. There are probably 2 more minutes here before we start to wrap it up. This is currently no man's land for me. We do have some intraday structure here, and you got a fib reference point, but I can't be getting involved with that location given the current context. Need either 900 level of interest here on NQ, or like I said, a break above 20K with some market structure. Let's do a quick poll here, see how everyone's morning is. Let me know. Vote in the poll. Green, red, flat. How we doing out there? How's the morning? Some decent two-way action. Decent two-way action. Pretty slow on my end. Just had that one scalp. A lot of green, 67% green so far. Looks like majority are green. Good deal. That's what we like to see. So I'm giving it, like I said, a couple more minutes, see if we get a washout into 900. See if we get some sort of spring setup down there. Looks like that intraday market structure is just going to hold, so I'll go ahead and shut it down here. Thank you guys for jumping in. As always, fun to trade with everyone every morning, even when it's a little bit slower. Hope you guys had a good morning. As always, if you have questions about anything, feel free to shoot me a direct message in the Traders Think Tank. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow morning for post-NFP trading. Or that Friday. As far as late morning action here, my plan remains the same. I would consider setups near 900 or up and through 20K with some sort of market structure there. Otherwise, just sitting on hands. Sitting on hands. All right, take care, guys. I'll see ya.